Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Best Today podcast. I'm Shantae Grant, creator of the Best Today Company, Best Today brand, Best Today Guide, where we are on a mission to help you to be proactive and intentional with your time. But we start by talking about planning and routine that connects to who you are, what you want, and who you want to become. And in that same vein, all month long, we have been talking about truth and its foundation in your relationship with yourself and understanding who you are, who you want to become, and what you want. And so today I want to talk to you about why it is so important to prioritize your relationship with yourself. And I've got an acronym for you that will help you keep these 4 reasons at the top of your mind. And it's no coincidence the word that this acronym spells. And that is F-R-E-E, free. Now, I cannot express the vast importance, so important. I think I've said this every week lately, of the freedom that comes with knowing who you are and what you want. So I want to get right into these 4 reasons, F-R-E-E. Each letter stands for one of the reasons why it's important to prioritize your relationship with yourself. And what I mean by that is making space and time to know you, to get clear on who you are, what you want, who you want to become. So without further ado, let's get to F-R-E-E. So the first reason to prioritize your relationship with yourself starting today is F, foundation. You know, how you view yourself and your relationship with yourself is, well, let me say that again. Your relationship with yourself, which includes how you view yourself, it really does become the foundation for how you move in this world. It becomes a foundation for how you think about yourself, how you talk about yourself, how you allow others to treat you and speak to you, how you honor what is important to you, how you make space and time to get clear on what is important to you. Like all of those things stem from caring enough about yourself to make the space to get to know you, and what you discover in that process and how you begin to think about yourself affects all those things. How you think about yourself, how you talk about yourself, how you let others talk about you, how you honor yourself, all of those things, right? These things matter and they add up, whether negatively or positively, quickly over time. That actually sounds like those working against each other. Basically, what I'm saying is, you know, these things, how you think about yourself, how you talk to yourself, those things might seem in one instance, in one day, relatively small, but they add up quickly and then build up over time. So if you allow someone, for example, in your life to speak or treat you any kind of way, in a way that leaves you feeling hurt, ashamed, just makes you feel poorly about yourself, that's going to take a toll in how you see yourself. And then that's going to affect how you then treat yourself and how you move through and navigate life. I have had the opportunity to work with women of all ages. And I've worked with women who are much older than me, who have realized that the reason why they couldn't stop poor habits, so they may have come to me for help with routine or with habits or with planning or getting their schedules together. But the reason they had not up until that point been able to really do that and make a change is because they knew logically that they wanted to stop, but they realized that they couldn't, or felt they couldn't or shouldn't, because they felt they really didn't deserve any better than what they had right now. Like, I don't deserve to get out of this cycle that I hate that I'm in. I'm not a person who is worthy of that, or I'm not a person who does better. Like my station in life is where I'm going to end this life, and that which happened a couple years ago, really woke me up to understanding how powerful how we see ourselves is. To see someone, when you can see the habits you have and connect that to how you view yourself, it's why I'm pausing to talk about it all the time. It's why some of you may be like, she said this so many times. That's right. And I'm gonna keep saying it because someone has heard me say it 7 times, but really this is the first time they're hearing me say it. Or some people are hearing this for the very first time. So please hear me when I say that this is foundational work, and it will seep into everything you do if you don't make your relationship with yourself a priority. So I've had the opportunity to work with women of all different ages, stages of life. And what surprised me a lot is when I'm working with women who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s and trying to change a habit or stop, create a new habit in an old habit, create routine. They came to me for help when it comes to routine, planning, habits. But they find that they can't stop the poor habits. And when we finally start digging and really getting into it, we find that, or these women have found that it wasn't that they weren't able, it was that they thought that they couldn't change it or shouldn't because they don't really deserve any better than where they are right now. It's like the station where I am in life, this is the station in which I will die. I will die like this, even though logically I know I want to change. I can do this for a few seconds, but I really don't own the fact. I really don't believe that I can, or I am even worthy or deserving of trying to be better or being better. And so just to see how the things we do, like the little things we do, the things that you're trying to stop doing, the things that you love about yourself, like so much is tied into how you see yourself, how you view yourself. It is foundational, which is why F stands for, this is foundational for a lot of things. So if it's going to be foundational, we want a sturdy, strong foundation. We want a foundation built with truth, and we want a healthy foundation of how we see ourselves, not a poor foundation, because guess what? When it rains, what's going to happen to something with a bad foundation? That thing's going to fall through. So hear me when I say that this is foundational work that must be done. We have to make our relationship with ourselves and having a healthy view of ourselves a priority, because if you don't, it will manifest itself and show itself in very unhealthy ways at some point or other. And the further away it is, the harder it is to kind of go back and undo and unlearn. So wherever you are, today is the best day, right? Today is the best day. Don't worry about yesterday. That one's gone. But guess what? Tomorrow's not as good as today to really make this, a priority. Because here's the thing. The better I am at self-love, the better I am at knowing myself, loving myself, the better I am at loving other people. The clearer I am about who I am and what I want, the less I seek or desire praise, applause, or approval from external factors or people. The clearer I am about what I'm working on, the less likely you can guilt or shame me about the things that I'm working on. I know I'm working on it. So what they got, So it really is foundational. F is for foundation. How you view yourself, which stems from your relationship with yourself, or for lack of a better term, I'm saying relationship with yourself. It becomes the foundation for how you move in this world, how you perceive, how you think, how you feel. It is foundational. So that's number one, letter F. I'm saying number and letter. That's the first reason, which F, foundational. R, number two. Reflections and relationships. Write that down. So we now are building on the foundation, right? Once you understand that how you view yourself, how you see yourself, which stems from your relationship with yourself, that's your foundation. That is now reflected in your relationships with others, whether it's strangers on the internet, the closest people in your life, your family, your coworkers, all those people. A lot of times when I talk about making time and space for thinking and writing and getting clear on who you are and what you want, I get questions along the lines of, well, doesn't that sound or feel selfish? First, do you really think that making time and space to know who you are and what you want and getting a healthy view of yourself is selfish? If that's you, I need you to just pause, because sometimes I think if I just say it out loud, you'll hear how it sounds. How is it selfish to want to have a healthy relationship with yourself? Because if I said, hey, it's selfish to want to have a healthy relationship with your spouse, with your partner, with your child, with your parents, with your siblings. Most people are like, yeah. I want to have a healthy relationship with the people in my life. Boo, tap, tap, tap. Guess who you with all the time? Guess who like the closest relationship you got because you and that person always together? That's you. Okay. Number two, second, when it comes to responding to doesn't that feel selfish? if I view this question from an optimistic standpoint, what I hear the person trying to say is coming from, a place of thinking about my relationships with other people are also important. But hear this. Well, first of all, can we stop thinking that loving one thing means we hate the other, or love is only like love is not like pie or pizza. When you take a slice out, that someone is now not going to get that slice. Love is infinite. Love is infinite. As soon as you extend it to someone else, more is created, more is born. So stop the if you love this, you don't love this type of situation. Like you are saying, if you love this, you don't have the space to love this. That love is not pizza. Just write that down. Quote me on that, unless someone else has already said it. It ain't. Love is not pizza. Love is not pie. It's infinite in its availability. So you can love yourself a whole bunch, and love a lot of other people a whole bunch too. Okay. But hear this, please, because this is also important. Caring about yourself, loving yourself, making time and space for yourself does not diminish the love you have for other people. It actually, ding, 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 strengthens your ability to love other people. At Best Today, we exist to help women just like you be your best one today at a time. So each week on the podcast, we are going to highlight your stories and your voices. So let's see what's in the inbox today.
Hi, my name is Mary, and I've been using the Best Today guide since it came out, since it was first sent out to the world. And I love this product because it gets to the motivations behind why we do the things we do, and allows us to see on paper every day what we have going on, what behaviors are holding us back, what our vision for the future looks like, and truly gives the tools and the accountability to move forward towards vision. It isn't a planner. It isn't a guide to see how much water you drink every day or keep track of anything like that, although you can use it in any way that suits your life. That's one of the reasons it's so amazing. But it really helps you focus on what matters to you, what your priorities are, and what you're going to do to move yourself towards keeping those priorities and goals in focus as you move throughout your life. I love this product so much, and I'm so grateful to use it every day.
It is such a treat to hear real stories from our Best Today Guide users, our customers. If you want to learn how the Best Today Guide can help you, how our resources in general can help you to be proactive and intentional with your time, and that's not a slogan, that is the lifestyle that we are wanting to put out into this world. Do not forget to go to besttodayguide.com. On our website, we have all of our resources. We also have videos to help you see inside of the Best Today Guide. You can find links to Clean One Room, Right Now Routine, and learn more about all that we have to offer to help you on your journey. Don't forget to take a look at the starter bundle. If you're really ready to get started and want to see what are the best tools to get started with, you can see all of that by going to besttodayguide.com. And I'm just so excited. I love hearing these stories from our customers. So thank you so much again, Mary, for sharing your story and just being a fantastic member and advocate and champion of Best Today in general. All right, let's get back to the rest of the episode. That's the thing. So if you're the kind of person that's like, oh, but if you want to love people well, love you first and love you really well. That's what I'm saying. Because it's going to be reflected, your love of yourself is going to be reflected in your relationship. So if you find yourself lashing it out all the people that you love, boom, take a minute and be like, hold on, check in with me. Something's going on here with me because I'm lashing at all the people. So the beautiful thing about that is we are better able to love others when we can first love ourselves. There are books written about some so many of the important relationships that we have, right? You can't find enough. There are so many books on parenting, right? For the parent-child relationship. There's so many books on marriage for the husband-wife relationship. There's so many books on leadership, about the leader and team relationship. Those are just three major examples where you can't not find like a whole full handful of books, more than a handful, like a store full of books on these relationships and on these topics. But the relationship that can help all of those that can help all of those aforementioned relationships, the marriage relationship, the parent relationship, the leadership relationship, the one relationship that can help all of those relationships be better is the one that you have with yourself. And there's probably been a book written about just about everything, but I don't hear a lot about talking about when people talk about books on relationships with you, right? I'm sure they exist because there's nothing new under the sun, but I'm just saying you don't hear those spoken about to the extent as you do the other relationships I mentioned, right? So I can't control the people in my relationships, but I can control the me that they get every time we have an encounter. We can't control the people in our relationships, parent, child, all the relationships, right? But what we can control is the me, the you that we present to them on a day-to-day basis. And that in itself makes how we relate to ourselves very important. This is what makes our relationship with ourselves so foundational, because I do believe all other relationships stem from that and are affected from that, whether good or bad, whether positive or negative, whether healthy or unhealthy. Okay. So my hope is that every person, and my intention here in sitting here talking to you, is that every person under the sound of my voice desires to have a true and healthy, like a healthy relationship based on truth with themselves. I want you to walk in the truths that I shared in episode 19. If you haven't listened, please go back and listen to episode 19. You can even stop this episode and go listen to episode 19. It's very short. It's probably one of the shortest episodes I've ever recorded. It's called 5 Truths to Remind Yourself of Every Day. But, I want you to prioritize doing what you need to check in with yourself, to get clear on what you want before allowing society to write that story for you. In episode 20, I share, 3 examples of daily things that I do that help me. You can listen to that episode wherever you're listening to this right now. Just press back or go open it and go back episode 20. And then episode 19 is the one before that. So there are more resources to help also. But R is for reflections and relationships. It's important to have a healthy relationship with ourselves, because how we view ourselves and feel about ourselves is reflected in our relationships. Next is E, evolve. The first E stands for evolve. Y'all know I like definitions, so let's talk about what evolve means or is defined as. Evolve means to come forth gradually into being, to develop, to gradually grow or change. So one of the best things that I have learned is that we will always be in a state of learning. Whether you get to live to be 100 years old or beyond, there's no age where you will arrive, right? You'll be in a state of growing and learning. There really is no quote unquote, I've arrived to this place where there is nothing left for me to experience or learn. Like, we will never get there. And as a lifelong learner and student myself, that actually excites me. Once I actually light bulb, I'm not trying to get to this specific destination and have life all figured out. That doesn't mean that there aren't things that I have figured out. There are things that I know. There are things that I'm 1,000,000% sure of and clear on. But no one, for me, what takes the pressure off of needing to have everything figured all out is that no one has it all figured out. We will always be evolving. Hopefully, that's the goal. There are things, like I said, that I do know, but clearly, part of what this podcast is me sharing what I do know. But even in that, this podcast is evidence of my evolution, of me learning and growing and sharing along the way, and maybe saying, hey, remember 100 episodes ago, I said this? Let me tell you my thoughts on that right now, right? Because I'm evolving. And if you aren't taking the time to be intentional about getting to know you and why you do what you do and why you think what you think, you're really cutting off the evolution, the growth of you. I think about when I was a lawyer in a law firm. If I didn't check in to really question myself on the life that I wanted, I may have stayed a course only because it was something that was important to me at one point in my life. But when I learned that I can live a life that feels good, that is filled with peace, and not make decisions solely on something, a previous plan, a previous perception, or making, defining my life around an income number, like those things, I had to realize, like, I can let all of that go. I can change. That took listening to myself, questioning myself, allowing myself to let go and shed someone who I once was, which really liberated me in so many ways. And I'm still living in the ripple effects of that today. I now have to allow myself to evolve because I've seen how transformative it is, how necessary it is. And this is just one example of me taking the space to value the relationship with myself enough to check in and say, okay, but how are we feeling now about this plan that we had before, right? And it's not to say everyone listening needs to change careers. Please remember, when I share examples, it's to demonstrate a principle in action. It's not to say you go do this thing. It's the demonstration of that principle of what happens when I checked in with myself, when I really got honest about what I wanted and let go of things that I no longer wanted. Right? So the point is, if something isn't evolving or growing, it's likely stagnant or dying. And you're not dying. You are breathing, listening to me right now. So staying tuned into yourself really does ensure that you continue to evolve. So that's what the first E is. And the last E, it's probably one of my favorite, is empowering. Like, I can't even say it without making a fist. I keep making this fist. But knowing who you are and giving yourself the freedom and the space to love who you are while being, as Jess Sims says, both a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time is so empowering. Knowing the truth about who you are, how loved you are, how valuable you are, how worthy you are is empowering. It helps you to overcome many of the things that life brings and gives you proper perspective, which proper perspective is priceless. Say that 3 times fast. One of the reasons that I can walk and talk with such confidence and boldness is because I know who I am. Actually, that is the reason. I know who I am. The great parts, the parts I know are a work in progress, all of it. And I'm still learning as I go and grow. So that is the FREE, the free, why prioritizing relationships, your relationship with yourself is so important. And if you haven't been doing this, if you haven't been making your relationship with you a priority, I want to encourage you to start doing so today. Like, not tomorrow, and not beating ourselves up for what we didn't do yesterday and the yesterdays of before, but today, because you could do something about today. We can't do a thing about yesterday, and we really actually can't do a thing about tomorrow. The only way to do something about tomorrow is with what you do today. So if you need simple steps to get started, I first want to say listen to episode 20, where I share 3 things that I do daily. I would also recommend episode 16, the 3-step you assessment. That's a great place to start, because I actually literally in that one give you do this 1, 2, 3 assessment. But it also can be something as simple as turning this podcast off and just writing out who you are thinking and writing what comes to your mind. Writing out whatever comes to your mind. When you ask yourself, who am I? How do you see yourself? What do you think about yourself? What do you love about yourself? What do you want? Do you want to be healthy? Do you want a life of peace? Do you want to live near the ocean? Just write. Don't restrict yourself. Don't stop yourself from writing the hard things, and don't stop yourself from writing things that to you may seem small, or you think to someone else would seem small. That has nothing to do with we're talking about you. Don't stop yourself from writing things that seem big. Start right right here, where you are with you. And the good news is you're always right there with you. So you are the person that you spend the most time with, right? You go everywhere with you. So you now have an opportunity to sit and make time to say, how am I going to prioritize my relationship with myself and making sure I'm checking in with myself. I'm clear on who I am, what I want, where we're going, why we're doing the things that we do. We being you, yourself, and you, as Beyonce say, me, myself, and I. So let's review the 4 reasons by going over the FREE, and then I will let you go and get into it. So the F is for foundation, right? It becomes the foundation for how you move around in this world, how you navigate this world. R is for relationships, reflections and relationships. How you think about yourself is reflected in your relationships with others. E is for evolve. One of the things that I found is the better you are in tune with yourself, the more you give yourself space to evolve and grow. And the second E is empowering. It is so empowering to know who you are and to stand in that. So that's what I have for you today. As always, please share with me your thoughts, your questions, your reactions to this episode by either, if you're in the Best Today membership, come over there and let's talk about it over there. We have great conversation in the Best Today membership community. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to besttodaycommunity.com or besttodaymembership.com. Leave me a voice message on any device, actually, wherever you're listening right now. Just go to besttodayguide.com/voice and you press a button, talk into it, press the button, and it comes right over to us. I really do want to hear from you. I really get excited every time we receive a message. You can also tag us on Instagram at the Best Today brand to let us know you're listening and share your feedback, your questions, your thoughts. We love to hear what you do while you listen to the podcast. And that's it. That's what I have for you today. FREE. Those are my 4 reasons why it is so important to prioritize your relationship with yourself starting today. Thank you for being present with me for this week's episode of the Best Today podcast. Until next time, remember that you are capable and worthy of being your best one today at a time. And you have everything you need to have everything you want. So go on and shout it out as you live it out. One of our mantras here at Best Today. This is what my best today looks like. I'll talk to you again in the next episode. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Best Today podcast, you are going to love the Best Today Guide. Our Better Than a Planner guide teaches you how to get clear on what you want, identify your self-destructive habits and behaviors, and intentionally create space to prioritize yourself every single day. Don't go the journey to being your best one today at a time without the Best Today Guide. See inside its pages and order yours today at besttodayguide.com. Even better, when you order the Best Today Guide, we gift you with your first month free inside of the Best Today membership. So what are you waiting for? We're giving you everything you need to trade busy for intention. Go to besttodayguide.com and order yours today and join thousands of women across the globe proclaiming each day, this is what my best today looks like.